A man named Daniel walks into a bank, hands the loan officer a financial statement showing $1.4 million in liquid assets, and gets rejected for a $200,000 business loan. He already knew he would be rejected. He scheduled the rejection 2 weeks in advance. That is not a story about a broken system. That is a strategy. And the fact that nobody in a classroom or a personal finance article ever explained this to you is not an accident. Here is what is actually happening. The wealthiest borrowers in America do not build credit profiles the way you were taught. They do not just pay bills on time and wait. They engineer their credit history like a product. They design it with specific gaps, specific inquiries, and specific rejections baked in. And the rejections are not failures. They are tools. Let that sit for a second. Because if that is true, and it is, then everything you have been told about protecting your credit score and never applying unless you are sure you will be approved has been keeping you one step behind people who know better. So why does this work? Why would a millionaire intentionally take a hard inquiry hit and walk away with a denial letter? Here is the first layer. When you apply for credit, especially business credit, lenders do not just see your score. They see your appetite. They see whether you are someone who seeks leverage or someone who avoids it. A borrower who has never been denied looks, on paper, like someone who has never taken a swing. And in commercial lending, that reads as low ambition, not low risk. But that is almost secondary to what the rejection actually does to the credit file. Think about Marcus. Not a celebrity, just a real person. Marcus runs a logistics company outside of Atlanta. 3 years ago, his credit profile was clean but thin. He had a mortgage, 2 credit cards, no business credit history. He wanted a $5 million commercial line of credit eventually. His advisor told him something that felt insane at the time. Before you go for what you want, go for what will say no to you. So Marcus applied, through his LLC, for a $1 million unsecured business loan from a mid-size regional bank. He did not qualify. The denial was logged. The inquiry was made. And something important happened inside his credit ecosystem. The file got thicker. The inquiry showed lender behavior. The denial itself triggered a 30-day window where other lenders could see he was seeking large credit, and 2 of them sent pre-qualification offers he had never received before. He used those offers to negotiate terms with a 3rd lender he actually wanted. He got a $400,000 credit line at a rate he could not have accessed 6 months earlier. The rejection was the door opener. This is called credit stacking through inquiry signaling. It is not taught in personal finance content because personal finance content is written for people who are afraid of their credit score. Wealth strategy is written for people who want to use it. If this is the first time you have heard any of this, subscribe right now. Because we cover the financial mechanics that get filtered out before they reach the mainstream. Now here is the second layer, and this one is darker. The credit system in America is not neutral. It rewards a specific behavior pattern. That pattern is borrow often, borrow visibly, and demonstrate comfort with debt instruments that most people are afraid to touch. The people who learn this early accumulate access. Access to rates. Access to capital. Access to deals that never get posted publicly because they go to borrowers with the right file history. When you apply and get rejected, assuming you do this strategically and not randomly, you create a track record of credit-seeking behavior. Over time, that file tells a story. It says this borrower pursues leverage at scale. That story is worth money. Literally. Because the difference between a 7% business loan and a 4.5% business loan on $500,000 is tens of thousands of dollars over a 5-year term. That gap goes to people with the right credit narrative. The people who told you to never apply unless you are certain you will be approved were, at best, giving you advice optimized for not losing. Not for winning. Here is what you can actually do with this. Step 1. Separate your personal credit from your business credit immediately if you have not done that. Your LLC or S Corp needs its own Dun & Bradstreet file. Its own Experian business profile. These are separate systems and most people leave their business credit file completely blank for years. Step 2. Start applying for business credit you do not need right now. Not randomly. Research which lenders in your industry or size category have specific denial criteria you can study. Apply. Get the denial. Read the adverse action letter carefully. That letter tells you exactly what the lender needed and did not see. It is a free roadmap. Step 3. Use the inquiry activity itself as social proof when approaching other lenders. A file that shows multiple recent inquiries from business-focused institutions tells a story of an active, growth-oriented borrower. You are not hiding the denials. You are contextualizing them. Step 4. Do this in cycles of 90 days. Inquiries fall off in their impact within 12 months. So you are not permanently damaging anything. You are temporarily trading a few score points for a richer, more sophisticated credit narrative. Daniel, the man from the beginning, eventually got a $2.8 million commercial real estate loan at a rate his banker described as reserved for their top-tier borrowers. He was not their top-tier borrower 2 years earlier. He built his way into that tier. Not by being richer, by building the file that made him look like someone who had always understood how money actually moves. The system is not rigged against you. It is just calibrated for people who know its actual rules. And now you know one of them. Do not leave yet. In the next video, we break down the specific inquiry types that build your file versus the ones that silently flag you as a risk to lenders. That distinction alone has cost borrowers hundreds of thousands of dollars in worse loan terms. It is linked right now.